Hello, everyone. My name is Gus.
Hi, I'm Woodralilio. It's Portuguese. And I know I throw you for a loop sometimes with these things. It's Portuguese. Do you know why I'm speaking Portuguese? You don't even like to answer my question. I try to. You're my friend. I want to ask you questions, logical things, and it seems that my comments and my questions to you, they seem to frustrate you, and I don't know why.
I hope this serves people with the answer to a question that we get often, or comments that we get often, which is, man, these guys are always fighting. It's not fighting. I think it's more like an exacerbation type of situation. But with comments like that, how can you not? It's the question back at you. How can you not? I'm just going to leave it out there. The point is
that I value your opinion, and I'm proud of what I am.
This
go ahead.
is
What were you talking about?
At least week number 2 or 3 in a row that we are not doing AI videos.
Unbelievable. How did you find that?
If you love that, hit subscribe. Show us the love by subscribing to Dive Talk.
Yes.
And by the way, Dive Talk Plus has blown up over the last few weeks.
Dude, first it was your video. What did you do? 470, 80,000. What did you say that was so intelligent? Which I didn't know you had that
everything.
In you. And then I went and did one. Of course, I don't have your look.
True.
On the arm and all the ink and poisonous stuff.
Sure.
That could be part of why mine only is at like 140,000 views.
The point is, people really appreciate that here on Dive Talk, on the main channel, we wait until investigations are done. Yeah. We know all of the facts. And the reason for that...
Now, there's a new one. We haven't talked about it yet. I think it's still ongoing.
The reason for that is we believe that when there's an incident, especially a cave diving incident, we can leverage our experience and knowledge to learn from what happened.
That's valid.
And make changes to make sure that those deaths don't go out in vain.
Exactly.
That we learn from it and their lives prevent further loss of life in the future. Yes. That's the idea behind waiting and then doing a video so we can learn from it. Mm-hmm. However, just because that is the approach that we're taking with Dive Talk, the main channel, doesn't mean we can't talk about what we know so far, right? If we know, like what happened with those Italian divers in the Maldives a few weeks ago, and we can add some clarity. The purpose of Dive Talk Plus is to allow us to release content that doesn't really fit the main channel. Things like long format interviews and talk about current events. That was the idea. What I didn't know is how much people want clarity. They watch the news, and news is like, oh, some doctor in Italy says that most likely it was hyperoxia. Like what? It's like what the? They're just throwing words out there. Right. It's just complete nonsense. So we have the opportunity to come in and chime in and add clarity. That's what that is about. So if you like to stay current with current event and on the news and don't mind us talking about what we know so far. This is what we know so far. Let's talk about that. If you don't mind that, then subscribe to Dive Talk Plus. That's the channel that will have that kind of content. If you hate that, if you rather wait for all the facts to be known, whatever, then stay subscribed to Dive Talk. You can have it both ways. Pick and choose whichever you want. So that's where that came from. And you're right. There's something happening in Laos right now where miners got trapped. But by the time people are watching this video, this could have been over by now. Who knows? But when we're recording it, they're still trapped in there, which is interesting. So maybe we should do a video for Dive Talk Plus on that. And if we already did,
and I really don't know all the facts right now or what it's moving quickly. So
correct. Things are changing. The point is, this video is not only no AI, so I hope you subscribe because of it, but second, it's actually featuring an expert, Chis Jewell, doing a cave dive in Wookey Hole, which happens to be the place where cave diving was born. The very first cave that was dived in England. So Chris went out, he did a dive, and he recorded it, and we're going to react to it.
Awesome.
This is like 5 years old. People have asked us to do this reaction many, many, many times. I've been kind of putting it back, but I think it's time we go back to our roots and talk about cave diving. Not that we're going to add clarity to anything Chris has to say, because he knows more about cave diving than both of us combined. He participated on the Thai cave rescue. Like, the guy is a legend. So let's watch. Wookey Hole.
The final dive at Wookey Hole is a deep dive. The current end of the cave is below 90 meters, and only Rick
300
Stanton
feet.
and John Bellanthan have reached that point.
Only Rick Stanton and John Bellanthan.
I've had a
has
few
reached that
dives
point.
in this particular sump over the
Rick Stanton and John Bellanthan, by the way, the two lead rescuers from the Thai cave rescue, absolute legends in cave diving. They're both British.
years, and last summer presented me with an opportunity to have another deep dive. And whilst everything didn't quite go to plan, and so I didn't reach
Look at the
the end
spool.
of the
It's like
cave,
this big.
I did come back with some video footage that I shot on a paralens camera, which was helmet mounted. So the video starts with me down at 60 meters in the final sump,
200
and you'll
feet.
see me laying some line in towards what I call the first obstacle.
Okay, the first thing that I want to talk about is that we know in the Dive Talk Plus video, I talked a lot about laying line, about the importance of laying line.
Yeah,
Basically, without it, you got a pretty high chance of dying. That's the summary of what I said.
of course.
But laying line is not just bring a reel and just start swimming and hope
Sounds
it works
easy.
out.
Yeah.
It's really a skill.
Yeah.
Where's the first tie off? What kind of tie off do you make? Where's the second tie off? What kind of tie off do you make?
Yeah.
How are you communicating with your dive buddy on the tie off, since their life depends on it? And what markers, what indicators, what are we doing with the line that is an entire form of communication just with the line?
Absolutely.
And by the way, are we laying the line in a way that isn't going to make it more dangerous? Tangling yourself, tangling other people.
Creating line traps.
So there's a lot to just lay in line. So yes,
Right.
you need to lay line always, because you'll be lost quickly, but you better practice.
Well,
it's really hard to do.
I was watching a video with a baseball player. His name is Mookie Betts. I know you love baseball. But
Mookie Bats.
Mookie was talking about hitting a baseball in Major League Baseball is perhaps the toughest skill in all professional sports. The hardest thing to do in all professional sports is to hit a baseball. He's saying, if you compare to any other sport, you could get lucky in some cases and do something like, score a goal. Like maybe. But hitting a baseball is impossible. There is no amount of luck that you can have to hit a baseball thrown by Paul Skeens, like one of these elite pitchers.
It's not
Forget
happening.
it. Not happening. And that is the reason why I mentioned this, is because hitting a baseball with a bat sounds easy, but when it comes to major leagues, it's impossible. I don't want to say the laying line is the equivalent of hitting a Major League Baseball, but it's another example of something that sounds simple until you try to do it and realize this is a lot harder than I thought. Once you're entangled and your whole team is entangled back there, you're like, okay, I didn't think that was that easy.
Made a pretty big mess.
I thought it was easy, and I didn't think it was going to be this hard.
No doubt.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yep.
So you can see me here placing a silt screw. This is a piece of plastic pipe, and by digging that into the gravel, into the sand,
I love this
I
silt.
can tie my dive line to it when there's
doesn't-
nothing else to tie a dive line to.
So see, this is I'm not gonna minimize the video here. Notice the silt right here looks like little pebbles, like rocks. It's like super thick silt. That is the type of silt that I love when it comes to cave diving. I mean, I love when it's just rock, but in some cases, like going to Woody's room at Peacock, for example, I love the fact that it's not rock, because if it was rock, if you didn't give up, you wouldn't be able to pass through. It's too tight. So the fact that it's mud and you can dig yourself in the mud to squeeze through the openings is what makes it possible for you to keep advancing. But if you're going to squeeze through anything, this is the kind of silt that you want, because it won't pick up. And whatever you pick up, it will fall immediately. And you will probably see it on the video that he can move it with his hands and visibility stays fine. The fine clay that we see in Florida caves, You do this, poof. Like
You can't
it's
even
like
see your computer if not
it's
that
like in the
stuff.
cartoons when they would throw like one of these smoke things, like poof, and they would disappear. That's what it looks like.
Yes.
Whenever I go to this bit of cave, it's quite normal to see that the dive line's been washed out. I've been here a couple of times, and the line that I've installed previously has never remained. So on this occasion,
I wonder why.
I'm installing some thick rope, some thick line. This is some 6mm dive line. I've got a
Nice.
homemade reel, which you can see me there in the video paying out. You'll also notice, of course, that I've unclipped one of my cylinders. I'm pushing the cylinder ahead of me because I know that I'm about to get to a fairly low,
Small.
narrow section,
Yeah.
and I need that cylinder taken off.
What's that pipe on the
So
top
this
of the
really is
cylinder?
the
Oh,
first
is that a stake?
obstacle
That's for
I
the
think it's
line.
like a
face
silt
when you get
stick, yeah.
into the deep section of this final sump in Wookey Hole. This
Look at that.
is
See how he
what
moves
I
it?
call
Problem.
the gravel
No
squeeze.
problem.
So effectively, you've got a very low section of cave. So in order to get through this section, I need to dig my way through the gravel.
You do this
so
in Florida,
I'm going to sort of sweep with my
it's
arms
over.
and push the gravel
Zero
out
vis
to the sides.
immediately.
And it
that will
won't
make
clear.
enough space
No,
for my
wow.
body to move forward, and then I'll keep repeating that process until I can actually get through. I'm down fairly deep, I'm over 60 meters here. It does take a while to get through this section of cave. It can certainly take a good 10, maybe sometimes 15 minutes to dig my way through this section.
Yeah, he's steep,
cave.
guys. He's at
I'm
200
very
feet.
mindful
so-
whenever I'm here
Wow.
that I don't want that gravel to slump back in as well and make it harder for me to exit. So although this looks flat, although it looks like I'm horizontal, I'm actually slightly head down. There's a little bit of an incline here as
That's
well.
cold water. Look at his
Obviously,
dry gloves.
Yeah.
That means that the gravel is kind of naturally kind of slumping back in. So I'm pushing it to the sides, but making sure that it's gone far enough that there'll be still space for me to get out again.
I love it. I love this so much. It's like
I've finally got through the gravel section.
nice.
I'm now actually dealing with the line, dealing with that line reel. But not
some line
only am
there.
I dealing with the new line that I'm laying, I've now found
See the
some
line?
of that old dive line. So line
It's a
from my
disaster.
previous dives, still in this section of cave. A lot of it
Look at the
buried.
gravel
but you
just
can see that I'm
moving.
pulling it out with a silt, and there's lots of thin string everywhere.
That stuff
Now,
will just
the
tangle
last thing
you
you want
up
to do
so
when you're cave
fast.
diving in a small space and probably poor visibility is have problems with line.
Yeah.
So I'm
just said
actually
that.
going to chop up some of this
Absolutely.
line,
Just get that out of
actually
there.
get rid of it, chop it into small pieces using my shears, then
One of the things that sometimes you have to do, it's not often, it doesn't happen often, is replacing line. Like he's doing right now, he's cutting line. The challenge with replacing lines sometimes is that the original markers from the original explorers will be on the line that you're cutting. So it is etiquette. It's not a rule of cave diving. I don't think it's something that's even covered during training. But it is proper etiquette as a cave diver that if you do replace line, you will also move the original markers back into the line you're replacing rather than adding your own. And Woody and I have benefited from this by doing dives, for example, in Florida with line that looks fairly new, but still has like Chick Exley's original markers where he explored this thing back in the 80s or whatever it is. I love seeing Chick's markers. Chick is the father of cave diving in the US. He wrote the 5 rules of cave diving. So it's really cool to go in a cave and seeing his original thing rather than somebody laid a new line. So I'm going to put my own arrows and cookies to make it look like I'm the explorer. Like, never do that if you're a cave diver watching this. If you do have to replace line because it's brittle or whatever it was tied broke off or whatever it is, move the original markers into your line to respect the original explorers.
actually I can dispose of it. We can let it kind of wash away or whatever, and then it'll be much safer for me to continue. So although it takes a few minutes, and I kind of want to get a move on, actually being cautious, taking time here,
Smart.
and actually chopping up the line is kind of well worth doing.
Definitely. That looked like a big entanglement.
You see, I'm then installing another silt screw. Putting another of these silt screws in, putting the dive line through it, just to make sure
You didn't
that
do
it's
the
a
nut.
Cool,
nice,
isn't it?
easy, thick
But you
line
didn't
to
do
follow
the
on the
nut.
way out.
Not-
And the
not
hope
the
really
nut,
is
no.
that thick dive line will still be there if I go back go back later.
Just a simple
next
little
year.
loop. Boom. Perfect.
I'm just
Look at that.
looking down
Beautiful.
to where the cave opens up, and get through there and carry on diving.
Nice.
So once you're through that first obstruction, the cave opens up again, and it's some quite nice cave diving. So it's a comfortable passage that I'm swimming along. I'm sort of 66 odd meters here, so fairly deep.
There's line there.
But the cave is quite nice and open.
Maybe that's
at
why
this
he's
point.
not laying his line.
However, I know that it's not long until I encounter the second obstacle, which is, I think, the more significant one, certainly for me at this point. So a few minutes of swimming along, effectively a horizontal tunnel, takes me to the next obstruction. So this is an actual collapse where the rocks are blocking the way. I actually have to take my cylinders off to attempt to get through this part
I wonder what
of the cave.
unit he's diving. He's diving
When
rebreathers,
this part of the
obviously.
cave
He's not
was
going to be at
first
200
reached
feet. I know.
by Rick Stanton and John Valanthan, it was impossible for them to get past. And over a series of dives, they opened the way up, eventually by using a lift bag to lift a large rock out of the way.
God, Rick is just amazing.
What that means, however, is that
Legit.
to get past this collapse, you still need to squeeze between some boulders. So it's fairly deep, pretty much 70 meters here.
Yeah.
I'm having to wriggle down between boulders. And I've actually got to take not just one cylinder off this time, but I've got both my cylinders off. I've got the side mount rebreather still
230
fixed on,
Super
but I've
advanced
taken
dive
off,
here.
taken off the large.
This dive has so much complexity, and it doesn't really show in the video, right? You watch it, you're like, okay, it seems
Because that's
pretty
what
easy.
happens when people are elite, like this guy, like Chris, is nothing happens. It's like, I don't remember who was talking about playing golf with Tiger Woods. It's like, what's the best thing about playing golf with Tiger Woods? Nothing. Because he just hits it. And I don't
Seems so
play
easy.
golf. I know people think I have a PhD in golf. I don't play golf, but it's like he hits it off the drive, it hits to the green, goes to the green, putt it, hits, goes, and move on, and move on, and move on. And like,
It's funny. I've never seen golfers with that stuff on their arm.
they're not
What
cool.
I'm saying about this is that there's a lot going on here that he's talking about, just like what you said, in a very casual way, as if it's normal. Like everybody takes off their tanks and pushes them ahead while cutting line, while laying new line, and have a stake to know where to do it. Do you know how hard it is to take off your side mount tanks, push them in front of you, while laying line at the same time, in a dry suit when it's freezing at 70 meters underwater?
With dry gloves?
With dry gloves.
Operating bolt
This
snaps
is-
with dry gloves?
This is, I can't do this. That's what I'm going to tell you. There's no way, because now you got to put the tanks back on. Don't forget that. Me and you at the surface are helping each other with the bungees, just getting them on, and you do not want to take them off. It's really hard.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's
it's not
a-
coming out in the video, It's just really not. And you got to respect what he's doing. There's
a whole way on how to even use bolt snaps when you have gloves, dry gloves specifically. That if you do it wrong, your glove gets trapped into it and can make a hole in it and flood. Imagine flooding at 230 feet,
freezing.
in cold,
miserable.
super freezing water, and you have all that deco. Because he's been at that depth for 20, 30 minutes. He has all the deco. So you can't just go to the surface because you're cold.
And so there are stage tanks along the way here we haven't even seen or talked about. This is
Amazing.
really, really, really
extremely
advanced dive. That's all I'm trying to point out.
Cylinder, the 12 litre of Trimix that I'm using, and I'm wriggling down between the rocks here and actually pulling the cylinder down after me. I spent quite a while trying to work out how to get through this bit of cave. I had several attempts. I've been to this point a couple of times, and this is the first time I actually managed to get through this bit of cave.
Wow, that has to be tight.
So what happened next, I really hadn't expected.
Got to move rocks.
Oh,
I've been working pretty hard,
there's the line.
both when I was digging my way through the gravel that you've already seen, and then while swimming along to this section of cave, and then the
CO2.
process of taking cylinders off and getting ready. I'd had one failed attempt again for the squeeze on this dive, and then I had the attempt where I actually got through. So I've been working quite hard. I was conscious that my heart rate was up, and I guess my breathing rate was up as well. when I got through the squeeze, I began to feel quite uncomfortable.
CO2.
I began to get, I guess I can look back with hindsight now and realise I was having some of the effects of CO2 buildup.
It had to be.
I got through the squeeze. I couldn't get my breathing properly under control.
Oof.
I knew something wasn't right. I was
After
having
the
some
squeeze.
problems breathing properly.
Very bad feeling.
And I decided very rapidly that I wanted to get out of there. I'd had enough. I was beyond the squeeze in a pretty intimidating bit of cave.
I mean, you know that in all the training, hypercapnia, which is a CO2 buildup,
Yeah.
is a thumb. There is
Outta here.
nothing on hypercapnia like a drill to it's. You have hypercapnia, bail out.
Yep.
You could get off the rebreather. That's what bailout means, by the way. It means a rebreather, you're rebreathing like in and out of a paper bag that's adding back oxygen and has a scrubber to remove CO2. But if you work too hard, you can overbreathe the scrubber. The scrubber doesn't have time to even remove the gas. Man, you could literally black out from hypercapnia. You could create an effect of having to breathe more. You could just get super dizzy. You could get sick underwater. You got to bail out
Yeah.
and go back home on your open circuit, which is why you have to plan your gas.
Yep.
So that when I said it's complex, it's even more complex than I said a minute ago.
And I think for the divers watching this, I think the toughest part here is the fact that he realized he needed to bail out after he made it through a restriction that he already had failed once to make it through. So imagine you're struggling to make it, and when you finally make it, like, fight your way to the other side. Oh man, I gotta get out of here.
Bad feeling.
Bro.
It's a really bad feeling. Yeah. I think I had it. When I had my incident. I'm more of that I dwell on it. I think I had a combination of overworking my rebreather from that restriction we were trying to get through and bent. I think I had a combo going on there, which is why I was so I couldn't breathe when I got to the surface. I felt like I couldn't get my breath, remember? I'm like, no matter what I did, take oxygen, I just felt you're goner. Like without Gus and Brian, you're kind of helpless. And that's by himself at 70 meters.
Yes.
Dude, this is a bad feeling.
Yeah.
I wasn't breathing right. I had an awfully long dive to complete to get out of the water. I really didn't want to be back down there. And you can see in the video, I'm moving fairly quickly to try and get back up through that squeeze.
Absolutely.
And obviously I'm here to tell the tale. So I got back through the squeeze. I calmed myself down. My breathing rate got under control as well. And, ultimately, I completed the dive successfully. So some important lessons there. So I have a bit of a think about modifying equipment, modifying techniques, and, let's see if we can have another go at Wookey Hole.
That's awesome.
Yeah, really is awesome.
So yeah, Chris is he's legit, and again, it's one of those things where when somebody who's elite does something, it looks easy, and it doesn't look as impressive. And for those of you watching who, when he said, "Well, I had to remove my tanks and push them ahead of me, and then whatever," and you're like, "So what? That's easy to do." Well, you're clearly better than us. If that's easy for you, then you're better.
I already said that I can't really think of a much more advanced dive than what he just described. That's how difficult that is.
Yeah.
It's not difficult. I don't think I could do it. Number one, I'm not without a lot of practice. And to do it by yourself in freezing cold water with dry gloves and have a hit of hypercapnia all at the same time and maintain that level of thought and calmness.
Yeah.
I don't think there's many in the world that could do what he did.
Calmly
No,
narrate
I don't
your
think
dive.
there's many in the world. We could sit here and say, no, we would have been able to remain calm.
Yeah.
I don't believe that's true. I don't.
It's a high level dive for sure. I mean, the fact that only Rick Stanton and Jumbo Anthem were the only two cave divers in the world that had done that tells you a lot. That was a legit dive, hat tip, all respect. He was awesome. And I mean, just think about what you were talking about, us trying to squeeze through that restriction to go to the airplane hangar in Abaco. We couldn't do it, number one. Removing equipment, couldn't do it, number one. And number two, it wasn't as deep as Chris, and we had company, and it wasn't as cold. Like,
I know. It's
a
very,
whole nother
very
level.
hard.
And he made it through. He's the third person ever to
Incredible.
make it through that hole.
Really incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. He's legit. But I think people watching this video perhaps haven't seen us trying to squeeze through the restriction in the airplane hangar and failing, and you getting bent in the process and all of that. It's one of our most popular videos, watching Woody struggle and collapse and and all the drama that came with it. I'm going to leave it right here. What a crazy dive that was. I want to do it, though. I want to be the first ones ever to make it through that restriction on a sidewinder.
I really,
I'm ready for another
I really
shot.
have played it in my mind, and I know why I didn't make it through. We didn't stay far enough over on the right side.
Not sure if you noticed, but I lost weight. Do you know that? People
Mainly,
might have
I do
pointed out.
notice that you lost weight, and some other things. I've noticed that. I mean, it's good. Honestly, it's good. But I would
I'm
tell
ready to
you
give it
that
another shot.
we just got to stay far to the right. That's the only way. That's the mistake we made.
Here's the video.
But
Check it out.
I'm telling you, man, hypercapnia, which I think I also had, it's such a bad feeling. And I don't have anything more to comment on this. It was amazing what he did.
Good job, Chris.
Bye,
We'll see you on the
everybody.
next one.